Well, I just want you to sound. I just want you to be natural.
I'll be good.
Okay. I just want you to be. We're recording now. Just want
What
you
are
to
you
be.
using this for?
We're for a video blog. The point is for our video blog, so
like
we
on
can
your,
share
on your
your
website?
story. No, we're going to link it to our website, so you can.
So it's gonna okay.
So we can just share your story with other people.
Gotcha.
Okay, so this is John Fitzgerald, Dr. Fitzgerald.
Yes.
John, tell us who you are, what you do, that kind of stuff.
Okay. My name's John Fitzgerald. I'm a doctor here in Las Vegas. I read blood work mostly for professional athletes. I see a lot of UFC fighters, strike force fighters, and professional players in several other sports.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about
fun.
your loan modification, like your history. Who's your lender? Bank of America?
Yeah, I was originally with Countrywide, and I had an ARM loan that reset, and it went very high with the payments. And I decided not to pay anymore because the payments were quite ridiculous.
Yeah, you didn't really decide not to pay as much as it literally tripled. Did it not? I remember.
It was crazy. I should have been living in a mansion up in Dragon Ridge, looking over the whole city for what my payments were going to be. You know, they were way out of range. So what happened was my house was 2 weeks away from a sale date. I had tried to contact Countrywide for a long period of time for myself, and they did nothing with me. They wouldn't help me at all. This was over 6 months. They did nothing. We went back and forth. I probably called 30 times. It was crazy. A total waste of my time. Then I hired a law firm, and I paid them $3,500, and they didn't do anything either. They just took the money, did nothing. And then I was 2 weeks away from the sale date, and a friend of a friend knew you, so I contacted you, and you stopped the sale within 2 weeks. And I'm still in the house today. That was a long time ago.
That was like 2007. It was like the end of 2000.
Well,
oh no, it was 2008.
2008.
Yeah.
It was 2008, and so I went from packing because I had the sale.
I remember that you said that you and Julie were actually packing up to move into an apartment or something.
We were packing to move, and I contacted you because that other law firm did absolutely nothing.
Well, here's what I want to ask you some questions. So thank you for saying. Thank you for saying we helped you, but we did. But I want you to share your experience with my company, the Consumer Advocacy Group. Share your experience with my staff, and share your experience with you, because I know that you said you were super frustrated with the bank.
Yeah.
And share your experience with how your and Julie's lives have changed since you started working with us.
Yeah, it was great because Julie is in school to be a nurse, and our schedules are ridiculous. When you're in school, you do not want to, and have 2 kids to boot, you don't want to have to be moving and figuring out where you're going to live and your finances and things like that. So we went from a panic situation to still being in the house.
Nice.
Now she's almost done with school at this point. She's only got a few months left. So that was terrific. And I knew right away that stuff was going to get done right when you got on the phone with the lender. And you just said, okay, stay here. Let's get on the phone together. I'm calling the lender. And then you took control and ended the sale date. Right from there, you postponed it, and then a few months later postponed it again, and since then they've sent in offers compared to what was being done before.
Awesome, cool. So would you refer people over to us?
Oh, I definitely would, yes.
Yeah.
You guys were awesome. It was great all the way around.
Cool, thanks John. And if anyone wanted to contact you for a reference, would you be willing to give us a reference?
Yeah,
I know these are I should have asked you these questions ahead of time to prepare you, but...
Yeah, I'll probably have 50,000 calls.
I know. I just thought of that. I didn't really think about what I was going to ask you before I asked you, but thank you so much for that. John Fitzgerald, one of our clients, and you're awesome, John. Thank you for that. You want to say last words to anybody watching this?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend Consumer Advocacy Group, because if you're in that situation, you want somebody who's actually going to take charge and step in so you're not in a panic situation. And they take over, so I really had to do nothing.
I know what I want. I just thought of something. I know what I want you to talk about is why people need to be patient, because how long this process has been for you, and how I told you in the very beginning, I'll take care of it, but you have to be patient, because this can be months and months and months, or we could be over a year into it. So just tell them, just be patient.
We're a couple years.
So just tell them, so from beginning to end, I mean, yeah, you're looking at, some people, they are looking at a couple of years, and so, but they just have to be patient, because patience pays off. That's all I want you to say, is how much patience
does pay off. And the other thing that's very significant, and you told me this would happen, and it happened exactly this way. At the time, it was very nerve-wracking, so I'd call you in a panic, and you'd smack me on the head and say, "Go away, little boy, I'll fix it for you." But what happened was the collection calls, they would still come.
I always use this as an example.
And then they come and they're threatening, they threaten you and they tell you stuff that's not true. And so I would call Christy, and they would say, "Oh, it's not, don't worry about it. This is actually what's happening. Those people are just trying to get money out of you. Forget it." And really, they just went by the wayside, and now exactly what you said was going to happen.
Funny you say that. I still to this day, always use you as an example of, because those collection calls that you and Julie were getting were like horrendous.
They were horrendous. They were very, very bad and very.
So tell them that if you're going through this process, collection calls continue. You just have to.
Yeah. Now,
I heard someone say the other day though. They had a great quote which said, or they said, if you trust someone, you don't need any evidence that you can trust them because you just trust them. And if you don't trust someone, no amount of evidence that you can trust them even helps you.
Yeah.
Because you just, so, I mean, this is just really bottom line of who can you turn to that you can trust and listening to other people that, you know,
I think one of the dynamics too is if people hire some of these law firms and they don't actually do anything, where your firm actually does something. So I came from somebody I hired who didn't do anything, and a lot of other people have hired people who haven't done anything, and then they got to you and you actually did something. So
and it's not the difference between an attorney and non-attorney, because we're not a law firm. It's the difference between going to someone who understands the process and really cares about their clients versus going through someone who is just a money farm and who just wants to meet quotas and make money. And you know, these guys, I don't know if you understand, there's guys out there that are spending $100,000 a month in advertising. Those are money farms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's crazy. But thanks, John. I'm going to cancel it out. No last words. Just say goodbye. Call me if you need me.
Bye.
Call me if you need blood work done.
Call me if you're a pro athlete, call me.
Okay, bye.